My name is Evan Dale. I'm not a paranormal expert, not a ghost hunter. I'm a contractor. I fix broken homes, patch up old foundations, and bring the dead frames of forgotten houses back to life. At least I used to, until I took a job on Wren Hollow Road. This is a real place, a real house. And if you're reading this, I'm begging you, don't go looking for it. It started with a call from a woman named Claudia Trask. She was terse, professional, said she was the estate executor for a family that had passed away. A fire had damaged the back half of the property. They wanted it restored for sale. Sounded simple. I was in between jobs, the pay was good, and the house was just an hour outside of Pittsburgh. Old Victorian, 3 stories on a wooded lot, secluded, peaceful. I went out to take measurements. That was the last normal day of my life. The first visit. The house was exactly what she'd described, tall, skeletal, and half-consumed by trees. Paint peeled off the siding in long curls. The top floor windows were so dirty they looked black. It didn't have the obvious signs of a haunted house. It didn't need them. The front porch creaked under my boots. The key was under the mat, just like Claudia said. Inside, it smelled of old wood and burned plastic. The air felt thick. The fire damage was mostly contained to the rear kitchen wall. Some beams needed replacing. Roof work. A week or 2, maybe 3. I started taking measurements. As I passed through the hallway, I noticed something off. There were 6 doors. I had the original floor plan. There should have only been 5. One of them, center left, was shut tight, but didn't match the others. Older, narrower. I tried the knob, locked. I chalked it up to renovations or bad measurements. I didn't open it, not then. The Whispers Day, one of demos, started simple. I brought in my tools and set up in the foyer. Claudia wasn't on site, but said she'd check in via email. That's when I started hearing it. Whispers, faint, like someone speaking through a wall of cotton. At first, I thought it was wind through the trees, or maybe an animal, but it wasn't. The whispers always came from behind the 6th door, and they knew my name. The 6th door. By day 3, the whispers got louder, still muffled, like someone speaking from deep underwater. But I could make out words now, my name, and something else. Let me out. I tried the knob again. It was warm to the touch. The rest of the house was chilly. It had no central heat, but that doorknob felt like it had been sitting in the sun. I knocked. Nothing. Then I leaned my ear against it, a breath on the other side. I jumped back and almost tripped over my toolbox. I emailed Claudia, asked her if there were renovations or sealed-off rooms I should know about. Her response came the next morning. There is no 6th door. I stared at the screen for a long time. I went back into the hallway. 5 doors, just 5. The 6th one was gone, but I still heard the whisper. It was laughing. The floorboards. That night, I stayed late to board up a cracked window. I had my work light running, the only glow in that place apart from my phone screen. I'd stopped playing music by then. I didn't want anything masking the sounds. The hallway creaked above me. The house was empty. I grabbed my hammer and walked up to the 2nd floor. The light flickered in the stairwell. As I reached the top, I noticed something strange. The floor beneath my feet felt wrong, almost soft, like stepping on sponge wood. Then a sudden knock, 3 sharp raps coming from the inside of the walls. I followed the sound to the center left part of the hallway, where the 6th door had been. Only now, it wasn't a door, just wall. But the knock came again, louder. I pressed my ear to it. "Still here," a voice said, so clear it cut through the air like a knife. I backed away, nearly fell down the stairs. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in my truck across the street, engine running, watching the house, and just before dawn, I saw it. A shape in the upstairs window, tall, still, smiling. On the 5th morning, I tried to quit. I called Claudia and told her the structure was unstable, that I couldn't safely continue the job. Her voice on the phone was different, colder. "You signed the contract, Mr. Dale. Complete the work." The line went dead. I didn't go inside that day. I walked around the property, hoping to find something that made sense of it all, an external entrance to whatever space lay behind that missing door. What I found instead was a crawl space access door half buried under weeds. It wasn't on any of the blueprints. The wood was newer than the rest of the house. I pulled it open. The space beneath was deeper than it should have been. A pit, really. Damp earth, a smell of old stone and rot, and something else. Whispering, still here, waiting. I dropped the door and ran back to the truck. As I turned the key in the ignition, the radio, dead since I arrived, crackled to life. And I heard my name, spoken in my own voice. Let me in. I didn't go back the next day. I couldn't. I stayed in a motel 20 miles out, curtain shut, phone off, bottle half drained on the nightstand. I told myself I'd never step foot in that house again, but then the mirror in my motel room fogged up. No shower had been run, no heat, and still, in the condensation, I saw writing slowly appear. "You're already inside." I didn't sleep that night. I didn't move. I watched the mirror until dawn. When I finally checked my phone, I had one new voicemail. No number, no message. Just my own voice whispering, "Evan, come back." I don't remember driving. I don't remember unlocking the front door. But somehow, I was standing in the hallway of Wren Hollow again. The air was colder than it had ever been. The house groaned like something alive. And the 6th door was back, wide open. Inside was darkness. Black, complete, suffocating. The whispering wasn't faint anymore. It was everywhere. "Let me out. Let me out. Let me out." I should have run, but I stepped forward, and the door slammed shut behind me. At first, I thought I'd gone blind. The dark was absolute. My flashlight, my phone, nothing worked. It was like the light was being swallowed. I held my hands in front of my face and couldn't see them. Couldn't even feel the air moving. Then came the voice, not from around me, from inside me. "You opened the door. You invited me." I spun around looking for the exit. There was no door, no wall, just endless black. "Why me?" I said aloud, barely recognizing my own voice. "Because you heard me." A light bloomed ahead, faint, sickly yellow. I moved toward it because I didn't know what else to do. The light revealed a corridor. Old stone, damp, like a basement that had been forgotten by time. The walls pulsed like they were breathing. I walked. The whispers followed. They weren't just voices now. They were memories, my father's death, my worst mistakes, my greatest fears, all whispered in the voices of people I'd lost. And then I saw it. At the end of the corridor was a mirror, but it wasn't my reflection. It was a version of me, smiling, the same smile I'd seen in the upstairs window. "Let me out," it said again, and raised its hand. So did I. It didn't mirror me, it controlled me. The other side. I tried to lower my arm, but I couldn't. It moved because the thing in the mirror wanted it to. I was a puppet, a hollow thing with strings pulled from behind glass. "You brought me here," it said. Its voice wasn't mine anymore. It had layers, echoes, a choir of pain. The mirror cracked. A single line down the center, my head split with pain, like my skull had been cut along the same seam. I dropped to my knees. The light flickered, then it stepped out. Not through the mirror, from inside me. It peeled off like a second skin, sliding out and leaving me gasping on the floor. I looked up. It was me. Same face, same eyes. But wrong. It smiled. "You're free," it said, and walked away. I woke up hours later in the basement of Wren Hollow, alone, light pouring in through a broken window. The sixth door was gone, so was my voice. I couldn't speak, not for days. And when it came back, it wasn't mine. The weeks that followed were a blur. I stayed in motels, checked into clinics. No one could explain why my voice sounded like someone else's, or why I could suddenly mimic any sound I heard perfectly. I didn't tell them about the house. Who would believe it? But it wasn't done with me. It left traces. The mirror in every room I entered would fog without cause. My reflection moved on its own, sometimes slower, sometimes faster. Sometimes it smiled before I did. One night I woke up to find dirt on my hands and leaves in my bed. I hadn't left the room. The window was locked. The front desk clerk swore no one had seen me leave. I called Claudia, disconnected. I drove back to Wren Hollow. The house was gone, not boarded up, not demolished. Gone. Just woods, fresh grass, like it had never been there at all. But when I parked and stepped into the clearing, I heard it again. A whisper, "Let me out." And the sound of a door creaking open, right behind me.